listening to the Krooked Hearts Podcast. Hey everybody, this is Andy the Pie Deal with our 6th installment of the Krooked Hearts Podcast. I'd like to thank our listeners out there. Really appreciate all the support and everybody kind of dialing in, tuning in, dropping out, learning a little something here and there. We have a really great interview here today that we're going to be getting and diving into. This is a passion project basically with some local talent here. They're called the AKM Project. They do have a side thing that they do with covers. They're called Those Guys. You know, Those Guys. And so we kind of talk in the interview a little bit about their beginnings and whatnot, as them starting out as musicians and doing the band thing and kind of doing originals. And they talk about, like, in 2016, that kind of crumbling and, you know, turning into, well, what are we going to do from here? And so it does talk about, in the interview, them going to Cal Jam, which is a local San Bernardino, you know, kind of thing. Dave Grohl and those guys kind of getting in and putting together a nice festival. And these guys were really inspired from some bands. I believe they said Royal Blood and the Japan Droids, duos, basically. And just the sonicness that these duos were able to create was inspiring for them. And they just were like, hey, wait a minute. Maybe we could do this. Maybe we can keep going with just being in a duo and not having to rely on other people in the band. So I find that very inspiring. Just being able to keep a band together at times can be many trials and tribulations. That's a journey in its own right. And so it's awesome to hear that these guys were inspired enough to say, you know what, let's do it on our own. Let's keep going. Let's keep playing music. So, yeah, it was really cool to, you know, talk about their influences, the Muse, Foo Fighters, you know, Queens of the Stone Age, and this band Royal Blood they were talking of, which I'd never heard of, and checked them out and can hear the influence there for sure. So, you know, Kyle and Anthony are really great guys. You know, Kyle, as a guitar standpoint, I could connect with him talking about pedals and amps and like a real wall of sound and kind of thing. When you're doing a duo, you got to kind of make up for that. And he does a really great job of doing that. And so we'll get into the interview, and thank you for tuning in. Welcome to the studio for the interview here.
Thanks for having us, man.
Yeah, you got it.
Cool.
Let's go ahead and do some introductions here. Names?
What's your name, man?
Oh, my name's Anthony. Drummer guy.
Drummer guy,
Drummer
Anthony.
guy.
Okay.
Kyle Hudson, singer guy.
Singer guy,
And
Kyle Hudson.
guitar guy.
All right. No relation to Slash, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
No relation to Slash.
Okay. Does anyone know that's his real last name is Hudson?
No, I did not.
I didn't know
Yeah,
even
that's
had a
his
last
last
name.
name.
So actually, I am.
I thought it was
related
just
to
Slash on his birth certificate.
I just don't like to tell people.
Yeah. Okay. Just making sure. I mean, you're minus the afro and everything, but you got
Right.
the guitar chops. I just was just, you know.
That
never
works.
know. Like a fourth
I wear a
cousin.
hat. It's just a little bit different.
Right. All right. So we have a couple different projects. Go ahead and just give me a little lowdown on the
rundown?
projects. Yeah, a little rundown here going on.
Well, we've had this cover band for going on 2 years almost, called Those Guys. Yeah, we're local in Marietta, Temecula. All of us musicians are all from around here. It's me, Anthony, Tim, and Sean right now. So it's a 4-piece cover band. Play a lot of rock tunes like 90s, and we play some Zeppelin, Sabbath, like all that kind of stuff. And then me and Anthony have our own project. It's just a 2-piece, just me and him, and that's called the AKM Project. That's our new animal that we're trying to tackle right now.
Passion project.
Yeah, it's
right.
a passion project, exactly. You got the cover band to pay for the hobby.
Pay the bills, yeah,
right.
And then the thing that just feeds the soul.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much, man.
Cool.
So just trying to get off the ground with the original scene,
Right.
and then got the cover thing going on.
Okay.
So.
Well, tell me how you two met each other. How'd that happen?
Oh, man.
How'd that come to be? I know we got hours, so I mean, like, long story short,
All right.
short story long, however you
Short
want to do
story
it.
long.
Let's do short
Let's
story
get into
long.
it.
Short story long.
Remember when I first met you?
Was that one at Christina's?
Yeah.
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 I was a video game nerd, just playing video games. Everyone's
Was?
outside. I still am. Whatever, dude. But yeah, how that happened. My mom was dating.
Here we go.
Gosh, this is gonna. Hold on. How do I word this?
Deep here.
Yeah, my
All right.
mom dated his. Is it his ex-stepmom's
My
brother?
ex-stepmom's brother, yeah.
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 And then it just came like
this
that.
isn't Jerry Springer, just
Yeah,
so
right?
you know. But
It was really weird. Like, we just came together, and then at the time he played guitar and stuff, and I was like, that'd be cool to play an instrument. I tried guitar. Horrible. Not a good idea. And then, yeah, that's how we like started with the music and then games and just like a mesh.
okay.
I remember I walked in, it was because, okay, so my ex-stepmom was married. Anyway, it's a weird thing, but we all knew each other. I never met him, but I walk in and he's sitting there playing. I think it was Nintendo.
Yeah.
You're playing Mario or something,
I
golf.
remember.
Or
It was something. It was
I don't
some
know
weird
the heck
game.
it was. He's sitting there. Oh no, it was Xbox. It wasn't Nintendo. Sorry, it was Xbox. He's playing something. He's like, "Hey, you want to play?" I'm like, "Sure." I don't play video games.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'm just not. And he was like, "Want to play?" Blah, blah. And we were like, "All right, cool." So we're messing around, and I think, and I was at my dad's like every other weekend or something like that. I think 2 weeks later or something, they asked if we want to hang out again. And we were like, "Oh yeah, sure," whatever. And it turned out every other weekend that I was with my pops, I was hanging out with Anthony. It was, dude, we've been friends since we were 12, I think, so it's
Right.
going on
Yeah,
14
it's been a
years,
while.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you said, I was playing guitar, just kind of by myself or whatever, and then we got the game Rock Band, because,
Yeah.
it just made
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
And,
Which is a weird thing, because you know, with that game, I suck at that. I can shred on
You
a
can play
guitar,
guitar,
but I cannot play that thing for the life of me, dude.
Yeah,
and everybody's
it's
like,
not-
"You should shred on this, dude." I'm like, "No, this is a totally different animal."
It's a different animal.
Yeah, and I'm not a
man.
gamer either, so I'm just like, I'm sorry. Like, give me a real guitar and I'll shred an E pentatonic
Right.
scale all over your face.
There's
But
more than five.
This thing right
five
here
buttons.
is like totally like, this is like speaking Italian or something, man. I don't get it.
And then when they came out with Rock, or sorry, we started with Guitar Hero, but when they came out with Rock Band, it had the drum set and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
I remember Anthony, because he was like, he's shredded on guitar on that on the games,
Not
right?
a real guitar.
But so he wanted to try drums,
like
dude.
that.
And how'd you learn how to play drums?
Rock Band. I just got the drum set, and I was like, it just came natural.
Uh-huh.
Everyone's like, you should play real drums. I'm like, I don't think it's the same. I think it's like totally different. But then
Yeah.
he bought me a drum set that was in the box for like 6 months. I didn't know how to hook it up. And he finally hooked it up for me. I
Yeah.
just taught myself how to play.
So how long ago was that?
Oh, like
5, 6 years.
probably like 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like 1920, because that's when I started singing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it
then we
makes sense.
started just like jamming. I didn't like jamming in front of anybody. I was all
Just
shy.
like garage style,
Yeah.
like just like
We
You
even
set up
at the
this drum
time
set.
there was no vocals. It was just we
Just
go
music,
off of hearing.
instrumental, yeah.
Yeah.
that's the way to do it.
Yeah, we covered songs and we know exactly where we're at
Yeah.
without even with no words.
The rock nod,
Yeah.
the head nod,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
telepathy
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Exactly.
I know this
Feels-
thing's coming up, and
Boom.
Yeah.
yeah, cool.
Executed.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's kind of crazy how it happened. Like that's how we so much chemistry because we learned off each other.
for sure.
Like starting off, so
Yeah.
it's pretty rad.
Been friends for going on 14 years now.
Yeah.
And then to play music together too
Yeah.
is like really cool.
Well, that's a special thing, really. I mean, I've been a musician for, like 20 years, and I did have a high school drummer that I was friends with, and we were like, both were into Hendrix. He was a big Mitch Mitchell guy, the drummer for Hendrix, and I was a big Hendrix guy, and like, we just had this unspoken thing, and I've played with 30, 40 plus drummers after that. And that thing that you get, that like no look kind of vibe,
Yeah,
kind of just like
exactly.
telepathy
So weird.
thing is just like, it's
Yeah.
rare, dude. So I'm stoked that you guys have it and you've been playing for long enough that you like are still connected to that.
Yeah.
Because me and this other dude, he just kind of moved away and things happen and life happens. But
Yeah.
I always think about like where that could have went.
Right.
Because after jamming with so many other drummers where I never had that connection, I was just like, dang, I wonder where that would have went,
Yeah.
And like that's a special thing. It's a
is.
bond. It's just this unspoken thing that people, non-musicians, will never understand or get
No.
that whole thing.
Yeah.
It is like a soul connection. It's just this weird. I don't know how to explain it. I mean, you can't really even put it into words. But to be able to connect musically
Yeah.
in a music language that it's like twins that have their own language, because I have twins, so I've just been hearing about this. So like, it's like they speak in their own language, and no one else understands it, that's what you guys have, dude. That's what
exactly.
it is. It's like being able to talk to each other through a look or a head nod or just a build up where you guys anticipate the thing that's gonna happen next. We don't know what the next thing is. It just happens. But you guys both know that thing is gonna happen. Right. It's there, and that is such a out of body experience, really. I mean, if you close your eyes and just let it happen, it happens. Yeah. And it's special. It's really a special thing. So you guys are very lucky, for sure.
A bunch of people like that, and it's it's a little more extra work. Not work, but a little more extra.
Well, it doesn't come. It comes with time. I mean, it comes with a lot of work as well. But to create it and to get to that point.
Yeah, no, for sure.
It's bitching, for sure. Yeah.
It was weird when we started writing music, because it's one thing to play with each other and then start building that mesh and playing cover songs and stuff like that, and other people's stuff like that. That was all cool. Yeah. And then it was we got into the realm back in Echoed Silence days. We got in the realm of writing songs, and that's when you really noticed it, because I'd be doing something, I'd be playing whatever, and I'm going for a change here. In my head, I'm like, oh yeah, this is gonna be cool, and then boom, and he hits it right at the same time. Yeah. It's just you lock in together. It's what the hell, man? It's because this is something that's never been played before,
Yeah, right.
Total improv, and you click, and it's cool, man.
For sure.
It's really cool.
Yeah, writing originals is, like you say, for sure. That's kind of where it shines.
That's where it shines.
It's you're sparkling this diamond the whole time, this jewel, and then when you start to create your own thing and you guys lock in, I can relate to that. It's such a great feeling too.
It is, dude. Jeez, sometimes we'll do it, and we lock in, we look at each other, and we're just oh, that was sick.
It still surprises us too.
It's still surprising.
It's so great.
That's funny.
That's awesome.
That's why the two-piece thing is working out pretty good, because
the vibe is there between just
it's there.
Less things to
less to worry about. I've been in the band with 4 or 5 people, and it's just when it comes to writing and stuff, it's a lot more streamlined. It's just straightforward. It's just me and him that we're dealing with. It's a lot easier to manage. I mean, and not anything bad against having 4 or 5 members in the band, but it's a lot less headache when it's just me and him. Yeah. And we already have that connection, so it's not we really have to, work too hard towards getting it.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
so
cool,
this was a conscious kind of choice to just be a two-piece.
Yeah. Yeah, well, actually what really inspired it is back in 2016 our other original band, Echoed Silence, broke up, and so we took a break from music for a while. I mean, I think I didn't play until the winery show, actually, where I met you. It was probably a good year until I played that. And then we started diving back into music. But wait, what was I talking about? What the hell?
When we started, how we got inspired by
for the two-piece. Man, I totally lost my train of thought. That just left the station, dude.
Don't do drugs, kids.
Yeah, don't do drugs.
Elvis has left the building.
So we started playing again, and we were like, oh man, this is cool, because we had taken a break for a while, we got back into it, and
that rejuvenates things sometimes. Taking a break,
man.
Dude,
it
for
does.
Sure.
People would talk to me, they
get inspired.
They don't understand. They're like, well, how'd you just stop playing music? Music's your life. I'm like, sometimes you just gotta take a step back.
Yeah, walk away from it for a minute, and then come back with a fresh start.
Yeah, it's like when you're mixing a song and you get freaking deaf just hearing the same thing over and over. Then you come back to it and you're like, oh, this is what I need to do.
Yeah, right.
So we went to Cal Jam in 2017.
Oh, okay.
And, Royal Blood, which is one of our favorite bands, Foo Fighters, they were all there.
Oh, yeah.
And Royal Blood's a two-piece. They play everything live as a two-piece. And then, and that was really cool. I've known them for a few years, but a band I had never heard of was Japan Droids. And our friend Dylan wanted to go check them out, so we're like, all right. So we went and checked them out. I didn't know they were two-piece, right?
Okay.
And we walk in, and sure shit, they're am I allowed to cuss on this?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
We're not editing.
All right.
Be yourself.
So, we go and watch them, and they're a two-piece, and the dude's playing guitar. See, that's the thing. I've seen a lot of two-pieces with bass player front bass players, but not guitars. And I was like, if he can do that, there's a way we can do that. I mean, it's a different genre, but I'm like, if he can do that, there's got to be a way to freaking do that then.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So we got really inspired by watching Royal Blood, of course, and then Japan Droids do their thing, and we're like, there's something special here that maybe we could lock into, so we went out and got the stuff that we need. He got an Octopad so he can add some funky stuff in there.
For sure.
And then I got a bunch of pedals. I have a stupid amount of pedals to run 3 amps at the same time,
Right.
It's
Are you looping?
I'm not looping. No, it's all live. It's weird. But we tried the loop a little bit. It's difficult without in-ears to stay on time,
Right.
Especially depending on what venue you're at. You never know what kind of sound you're going to get. But But no, so we do everything live as a 2-piece, and we tried it out because we were really inspired by those bands.
Yeah.
And so far it's working pretty good. I mean, we've had some shows, we've got good feedback, recorded some songs, and like,
Yeah.
I think it's going all right, you know.
Well, I want to insert right there. It's interesting to me that some of these new school bands that I've never even heard of, that, you know, which Cal Jans is, I really wish I could go this year. Dang it! My buddy's got tickets, and he bought like some of them cheap tickets. You know, they're like $59 or $49. Or, yeah, dude. I'm like, damn, I wish I could go. But anyway, despite that fact, cool that you went to a Cal Jam show and you were inspired by these other bands. One of them you heard of, one of them you never have heard of.
Yeah.
But where I want to insert there is that, so there's these new school kind of 2-piece bands, whereas my brain, as you're talking about this, goes to where it all started. I get not even really where it all started, but I would think White Stripes and the Black Keys.
White Stripes, Black Keys.
And so is that something that ever inspired you, or did you ever listen to that, or is that just something that was you guys knew about that thing, that they're a thing with the 2-piece, or is there any influence from that?
I think it was seeing them live that brought more influence than
seeing who live.
Like Royal Blood.
Okay.
Japan.
If I saw White, I never seen White Stripes or Black Keys live, but I think if I did, that probably would have brought more inspiration versus actually seeing like Royal Blood doing it. You know what I mean?
And I know those two bands are more soaked in like kind of blues. You know, really. I mean, White Stripes are alternative, but if you really get into Jack White stuff, he's really a blues guy.
Yeah.
And also Dan Ackerbach, or however you say that guy's name, the dude from Black Keys.
I don't know.
He's pretty bluesy too.
Yeah.
He has like another band that I'm really into, and like they're really like soulful and bluesy and stuff. So I mean, it took me many years to get into those bands, because when they came out, I had a bunch of friends that were into them. I'm always like the guy that doesn't. I'd stray away from the thing that's cool or whatever.
Yeah.
But then after enough time and the dust has settled and they're just like been around, then I could kind of appreciate it. That's just the way I am. I don't know. I've always been into bands that all my friends hated, so that's just me. I like the Black Crowes and I like Pearl Jam and stuff, and all my buddies are like, nah, dude, Nirvana or whatever, and Black Crowes suck. You know,
they're
and
great,
I'm like,
man.
Dude, you guys, whatever, dude.
Jam,
you guys don't know. So I feel like I've always been like in the underdog section of like music, but when you talk about 2-piece bands from my generation, that's really where I would never even say that's where it started, because I'm sure there's been plenty of 2-piece bands before those guys, but from where I grew up, those were the bands that kind of made it as 2-piece bands. Right. And so I would assume, just from the names of these two other bands that you mentioned, are probably a little more hard-edged, a little bit more not so bluesy, maybe just a little more rock or
that's
something.
The thing is, like, they inspire us more, like, 'cause we never really took into consideration White Stripes or Black Keys, because they're not our genre. They're totally different.
Right.
They're amazing at what they do, but it's not our genre. These guys just appeal to us. Japan Droids. I mean, they're more punk, but they're high energy type stuff. That's what we like to do. And then Royal Blood for sure is we just love their music. And then the fact they're
what style are they?
They're what are they?
Like rock.
Like hard rock, right?
Okay. Straightforward rock.
Yeah. They're definitely modern. I mean, they don't.
Sure.
They have a unique sound. It's really cool.
Yeah.
But so they influenced us mainly. I mean, I never really looked back on
I know, it's
White
so weird.
Stripes.
Now you bring that up.
The Black Keys, I believe when they play, they hire musicians though too. Don't they play like 4 or 5
I think
piece
so.
live,
And I know the
something?
White Stripes have some songs that have some bass in it and stuff, and I don't know how they do that live, if it's tracked or if it's like a live musician that does some of that, but the Black Keys more so, I think.
Yeah, I know they have.
Yeah, but I know that like in the studio it's just like them too, you know, and like they'll do all this stuff. But I mean, I'm sure touring they kind of bring in whatever, but
that's the thing that we kind of, as of right now, pride ourselves on. We're not against changing it, but
for sure
is that when we play live, it's just me and him live.
Right.
The same way it is in the studio is the same way it is live.
Totally.
You know? Even though we can't, when you're in studio, you can make magic. You can track 18 guitar tracks.
Whatever you want.
When you're live, you're you're kind of stuck with what you get.
Are you guys doing bass
that.
tracks and stuff in the studio
for
that? Okay,
we're
so
doing
it's full band stuff.
Check it out on Spotify, the AKM project. But yeah, we got a few songs out there tracked. Yeah, guitar, bass, leads, stuff like that.
Okay, cool.
Most of it we can do live. Some little things here and there. I was gonna say, like, you can't.
Some people want it to sound the way it sounded on the record, and some people don't care. Some people are like, this sounds cool live. It's a different aspect. So I mean,
that's how I am.
You know,
I like the live aspect.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So, all right. So, okay, let's dive really quick into those guys first before we get more into the AKM project. Those guys, as I said, I saw the first incarnation of what that would be, I guess.
Yeah.
At the winery and stuff. Winery. But how did that band come to be? How did that? I mean, as far as you say, that's a cover band that pays the bills and all that, and you know, and you guys sounded great for what I saw. Just to let you know.
Oh,
I mean, yeah. And you have like this kind of Dave Grohl kind of personality on stage and stuff. I'm sure you've probably heard that before.
Yeah.
And like, you know, like minus the rocker look and all that, and the backwards hat and all that. But I mean, like, yeah. I mean, you're a front man. You have that thing going. I don't think I remember you being in the band at that time. Was that correct or wrong?
I think we were filling that day.
Yeah, there was Corbett was playing.
Okay.
It was actually he booked it. Or
okay,
something,
right.
And then,
all right.
So he just asked us to play.
Okay.
I think that was the first show after that break I was talking about. Like
year
break.
So you're just kind of putting some things together at that point.
We literally threw together like 8 or 9 songs or
Which
something.
was cool. And like everybody in the crowd was digging. I mean, they're all older folk and whatnot for a winery and stuff. But the covers you guys were doing were killer, and you guys really sounded good. There was some guy, I mean, me and my teacher from, I went to Mount San Jacinto for audio engineering class. He had like invited a couple kids from class to come out and help him do sound. So I was actually at the sound board with him, running the sound and stuff, and he was kind of giving me some pointers on running the sound and stuff. And there was couple dudes from the crowd or whatever that came up that seemed like they knew who you guys were or something. They were telling us, like, these guys have never even played before. It's like they just threw this band together for this show and stuff, and we were like hell of impressed. You know, it was like, these guys sound damn good for, you know, like just slapping some stuff together or whatever. So I guess in essence, yes and no. It sounds like from you is like, you know, kind of the case, but kind of not.
Yeah, we all knew each other. We happened to be in different bands back in the day, and then everything broke up. I know Reese. He was in a couple bands. We had our thing, and just kind of all the bands in the original scene around here broke up at the same time. Ironically, it was just really weird.
Yeah.
So, out of the ashes of that, a few musicians like me, Anthony, Reese, Martin, I know Nick, Corbett, like we all just kind of gathered together and just formulated like this group, which. What better name than just those guys? We were just those guys that came together, you know, and played. And we threw it together for the winery show. And then after that, we were like, man, that was kind of fun. Like, let's keep jamming or whatever, you know. And
was that the name for that show? Was those guys?
it was special guest.
Okay.
Or special guest, I think.
Okay, that sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah, we had some weird names.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of how that.
But
happened.
those guys evolved from that.
Yeah, that was the start.
Okay.
Because we got a lot of positive feedback, and we're like, well, you know, we can go make a couple bucks playing in front of some people I knew.
Right.
Frank Hallberg from Franklin's Cove really well.
Right.
And I asked.
Do you know Rob?
Rob from.
God, I don't want to say his name wrong. Nimoy. He owns the other repair shop over there by the boiler room. Right across the street from his band plays over there at the Franklin's Cove all the time. Yeah.
What's the name of the?
I bet you if you've seen him, you'd probably recognize him. Yeah, he's like a staple over there. I just did an interview with him like 2 weeks ago, and he's all about Franklin's Cove. He's like, his band plays there all the time, and like they. Yeah.
Well, they're a family environment, dude. I forget.
Yeah.
I love.
He said that stage there is like the best in town.
Yeah.
He's like, it used to be kind of crappy. He goes, they got a new owner. He came and gutted it and redid it. And he goes, he said, I love playing that venue out of any place in town. He goes, it's got a real stage. It's got lighting and stuff. And the way they redid it, he goes, it's a great stage to play on. So.
What do you think of it?
Stage?
Yeah, the stage.
I like it. I don't like the riser if it's on there, though.
Yeah,
It's very
riser.
small for a drum
Right.
riser, but I appreciate the effort.
Well, I
of
guess
that.
before it was like they were on the floor and the stage
Oh, it
was like pretty much
it
just
was
for
like
drums,
it was
right?
like a step.
Yeah, so
Yeah, it was
I guess it's an
nothing.
improvement,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Oh, huge.
Okay.
Huge improvement.
Yeah,
That's on the other side of the bar.
Right.
It used to be
yeah.
right next to the bar part.
Okay.
And it was just a little like acoustic stage or
Sure.
whatever. And you're
Yeah.
on the ground.
So it's better than what it was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Way better.
It's a lot of fun, but yeah,
Cool.
that's kind of where we got our start. Because Frank told me, he's like, "I'll give any band a shot. If you suck, I won't hire you back. But
Yeah.
if you do good, then
Yeah, right.
we'll keep you around." And we were like,
Yeah.
"All right." And that's when I hit up Anthony to play and stuff, because we
Mhm.
were just kind of out of gigs, you know.
Yeah, yeah. But you guys are playing all over Public House and
Now,
you know,
yeah.
Well, yeah, now. But I mean, I'm sure it took work to get up to that.
It
but,
did. Yeah, it takes a lot.
How long of a
who
set
you know.
of covers do you guys have now? 2-hour set, or like what are you guys looking at? Like,
We've been going through members.
Yeah.
yeah.
So now we're probably at a good 4 hours.
Oh,
you know.
okay. So you could headline up. You could do a whole show.
Yeah.
At that point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You don't need any opening acts or anything.
No,
which is cool.
no, not for those guys.
Yeah.
With the AKM is only like 30-minute sets, you know.
Sure, yeah.
That's all we know. But
Right.
no, yeah, it's going well, man. We're getting into the wineries and stuff.
Yeah.
The wineries are great. I love the crowds out there.
Right.
Everyone likes to dance. So
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun. It makes it fun for us when other people are getting involved.
For
and,
sure.
You know.
Yeah.
Yelling at us, whatever the heck it is.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's fun to react with the crowd and
Yeah.
stuff. So wineries are great. Old Town
Okay.
Temecula is great. Franklin's
Yeah.
Cove. Yeah. So it's
Awesome.
going, man.
So, okay, so let's get into the AKM project. How did this come to be as far as, I know that now you guys had the cover band thing going. How did this spawn for you guys to say, you know what, man, we want to like do our own thing. We want to try something new. I mean, where did this whole idea come from?
I think it wasn't the Cal Jam when it really started the idea. Like,
Yeah.
that's what really got the gears going.
So you saw these two-piece bands and we
Yeah.
thought we could do it.
We're like, yeah.
So what, like that inspiration, just like you took that home from that
Well,
show and just said, let's jam out in the garage this week? Or, I mean, like, where'd that
I
come
like
to be?
went to work and started making a pedal board.
Uh-huh.
I couldn't tell you what the pedals are, but
Yeah.
you got all these gadgets and everything.
Right.
And he showed me, and I was like, whoa, that's pretty
Yeah.
cool. Like going from bass to guitar to both.
Right.
So then we just started like jamming some songs. And we're like, we could write some, try some out.
Where's the studio at? I've seen on your guys' like your Facebook and stuff. I've seen like a little studio that you guys kind of mess around with. Got a computer and stuff and a little drum set set up and looks
Where
like
we-
I think that was an
room.
old one.
Where we record?
Yeah, maybe. I guess.
I think that was the old, like your dad's. I think he's talking about.
the little white
for
room.
The AKM. The
Yeah,
white
the
room.
with a little computer
No.
on the desk and drum set over here and like.
Oh no, that's my house.
That's your house. Okay.
Yeah, that's our little
Yeah.
music room.
Little
It's
music
like
room. Okay.
this big, and we're
Cool,
working.
yeah.
No, that computer. It's actually an Xbox.
Oh, okay.
You know, it's
Sorry.
my,
I thought you guys were.
It's awesome.
I thought you were up in there recording on Pro Tools or something.
Oh
You know,
no, we're just playing games when we're not
Okay.
playing.
Okay. Cool.
Right.
So you leave your drum set over at his pad, and you guys
Pretty
just
much,
rehearse
yeah.
as much as you can, kind of thing.
Yeah,
or
I
what?
leave the one set there. And
Yeah.
Then I have my hardware, but then hook it up. And then
Okay.
just go at it.
Yeah.
Just jam out.
And you said you've only been playing for like 5-6 years now.
Yeah.
Which is damn good.
Yeah.
I mean, for drums, I mean, this shows you're dedicated, but you're in that realm of like you're starting to understand things, you know,
yeah.
and get good from playing on a garage band or a, not a garage band, but a
Rock band.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like switching to a real drum set. That's
Yeah,
That's
it's cool
pretty
too.
huge.
When we started, I was like, always like, man, we should play this song, or we could do this. And I
Right.
play, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
You don't see how much you progress until you
Okay.
like think back, you know.
drumming wise. As far as I know, these other two little like 2-piece bands. But what's your influences?
Ooh, Dominic Howard from Muse, man.
Yeah.
Oh boy, yeah.
Dude, those guys rock. I had a buddy who, he was a guitar tech for Alien Ant Farm. Then he went to 311, and he went to like the Used and a bunch of bands. But he, out of anybody, me and him when we'd get together in his off time, talk about bands, and I always like appreciated like what his insight was to what a good band was. And for him, being out on the road and seeing thousands of live bands all the time, he was most impressed by the Muse.
Yeah, they're like
he was like, for
insane.
3 guys, the amount of sound that like blasts you in your face from 3 guys. He goes, those guys kill it. He goes,
Yeah.
not only are they tight and they put on a great show, but he goes, the amount of sound that's produced from just 3 dudes, he goes, it's amazing. You should, anytime you can get tickets to go see those guys, do it.
Yeah.
And I still haven't, but I respect those guys. Hell, I mean, that dude, he's got the falsetto stuff and the guitar stuff. The bass player kills it. The drummer kills it. I mean, collectively as a unit, those guys really have something, you know, for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not familiar with their albums and stuff, but I do know that they kill it.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, that is a good band, and I always kind of took his word for that kind of thing, you know. So
yeah, definitely. I mean, I saw him live, and he was like, I was like, what the heck did I just witness? Because they do like a huge. It's not just a stage. It's a live. It's like it's a show.
Right.
Like, it's pretty rad, and they sound way good live too. So.
Right.
I like their hard shit, man. When they came out with Psycho and like that whole album, dude.
Yeah, I remember my first song I heard from them was Night Sidonia, and I was like, what band is this?
Oh, Night Sidonia.
And then I just went in on like
Wasn't
research.
that on Guitar Hero or something?
It was.
Guitar
I
Hero
remember
or
the first time I heard it, I was on the way to Six Flags.
Yeah.
And I was like in the backseat, I'm like, what band is this? And Dylan's like, I think this is Muse. I'm like, I went home, just like searching all their stuff, learning about it, and I was like, dude, a lot of my like way I play is from like watching Dominic, like a lot of toms.
Killer.
Pretty straightforward, just timing.
Right.
So
how old are you two cats?
25.
25.
Yep.
25. Okay. So you guys are right in that little prime zone where, like, you know, you're not youngsters, you know, but you're not old. You're like right at the prime, dude. Good for you
Prime
guys.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
This is fun times, let me just tell you. Coming from me, I'm 39. No one ever really guessed that, which I guess is I take that as a compliment. But I was in a reggae band and stuff and played like back in the, you know, when I was like about 24, 25, and got to play like the Roxy and the Whiskey and the Galaxy Theater, which now is like the Observatory or some shit, and just different places. And you know, we had. It's fun. It's so fun to. I mean, some of it was pay to play, and some of it was parties, and some of it was real gigs. But man, I look so fondly back on those days. So I just say, boys, enjoy it, soak it up now while you can. You know, I mean, whether you make it or not. I mean, making it these days is such a totally different animal. You know what I mean? But dude, have fun. Like, you guys are in the prime right now. I guarantee, just not to sound like some old, you know, crotchety old, you know, boys, you better soak it up then while you can, because it's good time. But no, seriously, this is prime time for you guys, you know, and you'll definitely look back upon these times fondly, for sure. I mean, having the gambit of doing the covers and having the passion project, as we call it, you know, or whatever, but that's good stuff. I mean, really, I mean, you're not locked into one thing. You've kind of got both like doors open. That's inspiring, dude. There's a lot of musicians out there, people that may be listening to this or not, you know, but that's what this show's all about, is just kind of like exposing some of this background and some of the stories that go along. So, you know, I mean, I want you guys to feel proud of what you're doing, which I'm sure you already do, but coming from another musician, I'm stoked to hear, you know, that you guys are kind of dipping your toes in both elements. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
So it's weird getting back into it, man, because like when we started our band, which was Ascension, then it turned into Echoed Silence. That was our old original stuff. It's like all we knew was the original scene, and we were trying to get into it and get into it, you know, knowing the local bands and all that stuff. And it was really cool. You get to know a lot of people, get to know promoters, all that stuff, and play some shows. And then it's just like one big learning experience, really. Now that we look back on it. But getting out of it for a couple of years here and doing the cover band thing and all that, and then going back to it. Back to writing originals.
Segueing back into being original.
It's like, it's weird, man. It's a whole different scene, dude. It's like, because Temecula, I don't know what it is about this place, but our musical community is so awesome here. Everyone supports each other. Everyone's really cool. Like everyone, it's really weird. We just have like an extremely supportive, especially in the cover band scene, like just music community. If anyone ever needs anything, like last minute, you make a post on Facebook, someone's there to help you out, you know. But now we're getting back into like the LA, San Diego scene of original music, and it's like everyone fends for themselves out there, man.
Right.
It's like it's weird.
So
like,
how did you guys, with the AKM project, how did you guys get involved with the KLOS thing, with like the Viper Room and all that?
Dude, so we went and recorded our first 3 songs,
like a little EP,
little EP type thing, and we're just releasing content, to have some stuff out there. And KLOS announced that they had this Next to Rock competition on the radio, and you just submit your favorite song.
I heard that.
Or whatever.
That's not Jonesy Jukebox. Is it 95.5?
He's on, 95.5, yeah.
That's, okay. So there's a different thing that they have too, though, right? For like local bands or something?
There's Frosty, Heidi, and Frank. They have Should I Stay or Should I Go?
Okay.
And that's something that happens, I think, like every month or something like that.
Okay.
And bands submit in and they play the first song.
Kind of similar to some of the radio stations have like these local things where you guys...
local shout out, and then, should they stay, keep going or not?
Yeah.
But this was something different. This is only the second year they've had Next to Rock, and it's for Cumulus stations, and 95.5 happens to be a Cumulus station.
Okay.
And countries all around the world now. States all around the country have Cumulus radio stations, and so there was this big Next to Rock competition throughout the United States. And in California, all we did is submit in a song. You didn't have to pay a fee or nothing like that. You just put in your favorite song, and you get your fans and friends to rate it on there. And you don't get to see any of the ratings. You don't get to see any of that stuff. It's just you go on there, kind of throw your music out there and see what happens. Well, we threw it out there. Deadline closed. 2 weeks later, I got a call from Wendy over at KLOS. She's like, hey, we love you guys. You're one of our top 5 finalists, blah, blah, blah. And we're like, what? Like, where the hell did that come from?
So were you guys promoting that on your social media and stuff? Hey, root for us on this thing that we're doing?
We posted it a few times, We really went in with no expectations.
It was really...
Right. It was
shot in the dark.
Completely just a shot in the dark.
Yeah.
And I got the call. I almost like shit my pants. I was
Killer,
like, what the hell? Okay, that's cool. Because there was like...
Yeah, me too. I was like...
I poop purple Twinkies when I heard this response. What's going on over here?
There was a good like 500 or 600 bands that were entered, and we got in the top 5, and I was like, well, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
So they just let us know the show details, and it was out at the Viper Room. That was I would call them the semifinals, but it was it was the California finals.
Okay.
So we went and played there. We didn't move on to the
you got to play the Viper Room,
we got to play the Viper Room.
Dude, that's killer, bro.
It was dope, and it was packed. It was sold out. It was like it was a great crowd. We got to meet some good people too, make some connections.
Yeah,
it's like
networking.
It's
Any
all good,
celebs
man.
up in the crowd that night?
Not in the crowd, but freaking Dave Grohl was at the
down the street.
The Rainbow.
Oh, okay.
Right down the corner.
Did you guys roll down and go check it out, or
no?
you just heard?
This dude told us after he came back. He was like, "Oh yeah, I had to go over to the Rainbow. Dave Grohl was over there. I want to get a picture." I was like, "Oh, is he still there?" He's like, "No." I'm like, "Dang it." Well, that's cool. Thanks, guys.
Close.
But no, because they actually had their Cal Jam pop-up that same day. They were right down the street at the Palladium.
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
The pop-up, Palladium,
They played that with Chevy Metal and the Holy Shits and stuff. And so, I was telling him, I was like, dude, Dave Grohl might be there, man. Like, that'd be so cool.
Yeah.
But he skipped our bar and went to the Rainbow.
Right.
It's all good, though.
It's
all good, Dave.
Yeah. Next time, Dave.
Next time. It was a lot of fun, though.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was a good second show.
Yeah, second show.
It was like... Yeah, a lot of high energy, freaking...
Where was the first show?
It was fun. Franklin's Cove for Homie Palooza.
So you guys did... I saw that with a bunch of local bands. The Tones and a bunch of bands were there for that. Okay.
There's 8 bands.
Yeah, I'm in talks to get them in for an interview in the next week or two, so that's cool.
That'd be tonally awesome.
Yeah, tonally awesome.
Shout out Anthony Villador.
But yeah, no, you guys, so you had that, and then your Viper Room was your second gig? Dang, dude, that's pretty inspiring.
It was crazy, dude. It's full throttle right now.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
We got another.
You did the Boiler Room.
Yeah, we
just
did the
recently,
Boiler Room.
right?
Yeah, that was a week after.
How's that venue?
It's good.
The stage is all right. I mean,
the stage is good. Yeah, it's big. It's really big.
Yeah. And you rock, like you said, a couple amps I saw on your thing.
Yeah.
Like
I do 3 amps.
Just for a split tone kind of thing, or what?
Yeah. I have like a ABY pedal. I run out into my bass board where I turn my guitar into a bass guitar and run it through a bass amp. And then on my...
So you just do some bass parts while you're playing, like you kind of split signal some stuff out? And
I'll split signel. I'll go just bass or I'll go just
guitars.
For
breakdown parts or whatever?
Yeah, just to add that like element, that dimension,
That's cool.
That way, when like a part's building up and then it smashes in, it's like, here's the bass.
So you got like a half stack I saw, and like maybe like a Fender or something or other?
Fender Hot Rod Deluxe 3, that's my guitar amp. Well, that's one of my guitar amps, and I'm getting a new amp, but I have a Line 6 Spider 3 right now for my half stack. And then a Fender, what is it, Rumble 100 or whatever.
For the bass stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's cool, man.
Like a bass pedal that you can just simulate?
Yeah, I have a Pog, and I
Okay.
just octave low.
Right.
And then,
Okay, cool.
And then running EQ and stuff.
Hell yeah.
That way it cuts out all the high tones and stuff.
Yeah.
It's there's a lot of crap going on.
Oh, yeah, for
I'm
sure.
actually going after this. I got to go to pick up a couple more pedals because I just got this noise issue now. So
Right.
got to try to silence the board. And
Yeah.
it's a lot of geeky stuff.
Right.
And it's funny because I'm not a geek. I don't know anything about that. Like how to lay them
a lot
out.
of
in the
trial and
chain.
error, I'm sure.
It's just
huh?
trial and error.
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
that's
yeah.
all it is. A lot of YouTube videos.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
that's what happened after Cal Jam. Like when we were gonna start this thing, we were talking about it. I'm like, well, I gotta figure out how the hell I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, right.
So I look on YouTube.
Yeah.
How do you
Which
make
is half
it?
the fun, really, dude.
Dude,
I
it
mean,
is,
it's just
man.
like-
Except it costs a lot of money. But
Yeah, it does
besides that-
cost a lot of money, but I mean, like you say, I mean, not to be a geek, but to geek out on that stuff, that's fun geeking out stuff. You
It's
know what I
cool.
mean? It's like there's a lot of experimentation and like figuring all. It's like
Yeah.
it's just that's the behind the scenes fun stuff that people just they see you live when your rig's all dialed, which
Yeah.
is cool. But
Yeah.
there's hours and hours
Yeah,
in
dude.
your room dialing.
Yep.
That people don't get that part of it, dude. They just think like it all just like you just plugged it in and it's just there it is. This guy's got a great tone, you know? It's like no, bro.
Yeah, no.
Dude,
nobody
it took me
thinks
9
that.
hours of like experimenting to like create just that little tone. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? For sure. So, but it's fun, you know?
It is because it like you feel like at least to me, I feel like I'm doing something that's truly original. You
Yeah.
know, like I mean, there's other two pieces. I know there's other two pieces
Yeah.
that do this type of stuff, but at least for this area and for us and stuff, I feel like it's truly original. I'm putting a lot of my heart into this thing because it's like I feel like I'm not just writing songs as a rock band, as
Yeah.
4 or 5 piece rock that's been done since the Beatles, since freaking
For sure.
back in the day. It's like this is just a little more unique. It makes it more fun to like.
Yeah.
Okay, well now I can put a phaser on that and make myself sound really fucking
Yeah,
weird,
yeah.
and like just add these different
Yeah.
elements and stuff. It's
Right.
yeah, it's.
So do
pretty
you
cool.
have any input? Like, hey, dude, you know what I'm hearing? I'm hearing this thing. You should try that kind of thing, or
Kind of, yeah.
are you just
It's like, for the most part, it just goes off, and I'll put like
Yeah.
input what we could try and
Right.
stuff. But yeah, it's nothing like. He has really good sound, and the way he plays and I play is like.
so you're like not Neil Peart writing all the lyrics on the background or anything?
Not
Like
at
the
all.
behind
Neil
the
Peart
scenes
do that?
dude is like.
Does
Yeah,
he do
Neil
that?
Peart from Rush writes all the lyrics.
No,
Did not know
shit,
that.
Really,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, not only is he a killer drummer, but
Yeah.
he's like a
Wow.
lyricist for the
That's pretty
band.
cool.
Yeah.
I knew
So
that.
maybe just something to
I
think
have to-
about.
I have to
Something
jump
to
in
chew
there.
on for a minute. Maybe just start writing while he doesn't know it
Yeah.
after this interview. Be inspired a little bit. And then like in like a month's time, you're going to be like, dude, I've got 5 books of lyrics, bro.
Seriously,
Check this shit out. I'm like, I got something to bring to the table over here. Screw your lyrics, bro. I've got some like mad skills right here I've been honing in on.
poetry, man.
I was inspired. Neil Peart. I mean, come on.
That's pretty cool. I
We're
didn't
the
know
next
that.
Rush, minus the bass.
Right?
We're rough.
Yeah.
Just
I'm
rough.
just saying, it's just something, you know.
Yeah, that's cool.
An idea. I don't know. Take
Yeah.
with what you will. I don't know. Might be something. But
Well, he's written some poetry and stuff that I've seen like just on the side or whatever.
Yeah.
I read some of it. And,
Manly
dude,
poetry.
it sounds really
Hey.
good.
poetry can always turn into lyrics, dude. You can always
true.
kind of, you know, tweak it,
Oh, absolutely.
you know,
Yeah.
rough it up a little bit.
This is some of the best lyrics
Turn
are.
it into- that's right. So, all right. So we got the AKM project, and how many shows have you guys played? Now,
Well,
you guys are still in the beginning of it.
4.
4.
It's 4.
I'd say.
Okay.
Well, we played this like secret whiskey show thing on a random
That was
night.
our tester show.
Yeah, we did a tester show.
How'd you
like,
guys
a
get a
Sunday.
whiskey gig?
Jake.
Was it Jake?
Was that a
Yeah.
pay and play thing, or was that a
Yeah.
yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just figured we'd do a cool venue.
Yeah.
Invite some people and just see
Right.
what they thought. Because when you do a project, it's different. Because to us, we're like, oh, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But to someone else, they might be like, nah.
Yeah. Right.
That was me.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, so we want people's like input
Yeah.
and what they thought or what we could change.
Yeah. Now I played the whiskey in front of nobody, and I played the whiskey in front of like 200 people, which isn't a lot, but I mean for that
For
place,
that,
it's
for that place
feels
it
like
is,
pretty
yeah.
good. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, but both of them were pay to play, which is just how it is out there.
It is,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? But so how was your guys' whiskey experience? Was it like a
Yeah, it was really good. We learned a bunch while we were playing live.
Okay.
Like some things we were like we had to fix.
yeah? Were you guys
sound.
opening for another band or something, or it was just your own deal on like a
Was
weekday?
it all like just
It was all local bands on a
local
Sunday.
band? Yeah, it wasn't anything like huge. It was just a Thursday night.
yeah.
Well, since
something.
it was the tester show, we wanted like the least amount of pre-sale possible
Sure.
on an off night. We didn't care, you know. We weren't going in it to get a lot of people there. It was just, and we only invited a certain amount of people.
Plus, it's hard to round up people from Temecula, your
to
hometown, to go roll out there. I mean, I used to have a buddy.
Minute.
They'd have to do the whole bus thing, the party bus, the VIP bus thing, where they round up that part into the ticket price and have everyone roll on a party bus to go. That's the only way they'd get like 25, 30 people out there, was like that they would, you know, get a crew and I mean, it's like mostly all friends and family and stuff, but whatever works. I mean, whatever gets the people there, you know, because it is hard, dude. I mean, even the times that we just play in like Santa Ana or whatever, it was like hard to get people to roll out. But you know, once you start getting another following, people will come. But that beginning process of trying to get, it's like, it's kind of tough, you know.
Yeah, that's right. We have a great support system from our friends. They always. We have a whiskey show. Majority come out. Yeah. So it's pretty rad.
So how many people did you pull for that?
It was about 40 people.
40 people?
We sold about like
That's damn good.
60 tickets.
Cool.
But about 40 people.
Right. Yeah. It actually showed.
And I mean, yeah, we have the best friends and family and stuff like
that's
that.
Great.
That comes
support. Good
you
for
know?
you guys, bro.
That's the cool thing. Is like every show we go to, it doesn't matter if it's the Boiler Room or Whiskey or House of Blues. It's like our core group of people is always there. No matter who else is there, it's great when there's 100 other people.
Yeah, for sure.
We always have our friends
your
and
posse.
family,
Yeah,
and they're awesome.
That's great, dude. Good for you guys.
That's why it was a good tester show too. We wanted to see what people thought and all that. And had some total screw ups and all everything that could go wrong went wrong, man.
Right. Yeah.
I was all pissed off, but I mean, because obviously I want it to be perfect.
Oh yeah.
But it's not gonna be.
Yeah. No.
It's not gonna be a perfect show.
It's also a different vibe with just two of us versus like 4 people. It's
totally.
We figured out like where we need to be on stage. Because like it's weird. You don't have other people on. It's just me.
Yeah. There's a lot of room with just 2 people,
bro. Exactly.
Like,
so we gotta like condense it. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what we did at the Boiler Room. We're every live sound tech's worst nightmare because we get there. We're like, we're not using the drum riser. We don't want to use the house kit. We'll set our kit over here.
Yeah.
So they got to run all the mics over there. So they're like, really?
Yeah.
We're like, yeah, because all the clubs are set up for the riser, you know? And
you're not a fan of the riser then, or what, just because you are a 2-piece?
It's such a different vibe when I'm behind.
Yeah.
Like, we're side by side.
Yeah.
So we kind of feed off that.
See, that's kind of a Tool thing, though, dude. Or like a frickin' Perfect Circle. Like, they always throw the drummer right up front.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing.
Like, mix it up, bro. Like, be a little bit different, you know?
Yeah.
I think that I have always dug that. They throw Maynard in the back, bro, in the shadows, and they put the drummer up front. He like reverses everything, you know, which I think is hella cool. Like, what's the standard? There's no standard, you know what I mean? Like, dude, it's what you want it to be, bro.
Thing. If you're gonna be original, be original.
Be original. Mix it up.
There aren't any technically. Yeah.
So you guys are kind of like side by side on stage. We're both front and center.
Right there.
See, that's cool.
He's a frontman drummer. Right. You don't get to see that very often, you know.
For sure.
Even when he's in every other band we've been in. Yeah. When he's in the back, he's still a frontman drummer. Right. Everyone's always like, "Oh, your drummer. He was pointing at me with the stick, or he was doing this. He's standing up, grabbing."
Got some showmanship.
Yeah. He really does.
Good for you.
He has very good showmanship. That also works, having 2 front guys up there, especially when there's only 2 of us anyway.
Well,
so
You got it. You better.
You gotta have that presentation.
For sure. Yeah. You've been playing the game long enough. You know that. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude,
give them a show.
Lessons learned, man. Yeah. There's been quite a few back in the day, and even with the few shows that we've had, you know, it's just. The main thing is putting on a show. Make sure everyone walks out of there like, that was badass. Like, you know, we sounded like shit, but they look cool. It's like, you know, it's.
Well, you guys are kind of touching on a little bit of a subject matter that I kind of like to bring up with some of these bands. And some bands, some people like to get into, some people don't. But
I don't.
I know you don't. I can tell by your bowling shoes right now that you don't. But,
exactly, bowling shoes. See?
So anyway,
they're all. I got bowling shoes.
I just gotta say, there's a lot of bands that want to be polished and they want to have the cool look, and we're cool and the cool factor and all the stuff that's like all right. But with this podcast, I kind of like to get into what you've already kind of touched on, so it makes me feel like I could bring the subject matter up. Is the trials and tribulations, the ups and the downs. I've been a musician, bro. I know. I mean, I've had my singer whacked out on like ecstasy and like all kinds of like pills and whatever, fall off stage kind of thing, where like we're pissed and like dude hurt his back, and like I mean, all the stuff, dude. Like amps going out and all the trials and tribulations of things that happen for shows. But I always kind of like to get into the nitty gritty a little bit. Some stories, maybe some ousting or some, just some like. There's always the bad stuff, and no one wants to talk about the bad stuff, dude. And so this would be part of the segment of the podcast that I like to get into, where
it's called the bad stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, like it's always all good, and like people always like to have this polished look where everything's just so grand and great and smiles and freaking,
And that's just not true.
It's not true, dude.
It's not,
I mean, like as of life, we all have ups and downs, and the bad stuff is what molds you to appreciate the good stuff. I mean, as of anything, bro. Like, I mean, you can't appreciate anything that good comes your way until you've experienced being down in the dumps with shit that's just like gone wrong, and you're just like, dang it, dude, like that sucked and that sucked and this sucked. But then when the good stuff happens and the moments, all the amps working, all the stuff's going, the PA, the sound guy sounds great, your songs are coming off like nothing other, like you didn't hit a bad note, you're like rocking it hard, and you go home, you're high-fiving after the show, and you're just like, that was the sweetest thing ever. We just closed our eyes and my fingers did stuff that I could never reproduce ever again. Like,
sounds like something.
Those are the things that like you really are riding so high off of and love and cherish, and the memories that you really like ride so greatly on. You can't appreciate that unless you've ever been down in the dumps and you have some crap that's gone that you've gone through. So I know you've talked about, your first show in Hollywood that went, some things didn't go so great, and we've all had so many shows that go that way. So let's a little bit get into some nitty gritty here. Let's share some stories here of just maybe some of the bad with the good, and like. I'm sure you can share some stories here. Yeah.
I don't know. Echo Silence is definitely a giant learning experience, dude.
There's a learning curve. Yeah.
Oh,
for sure.
that was
a bad
start with that
experience,
one. It was bad, but man, we learned from that to this, now we know so much going into the game, but I don't even know where to even start with that one.
So inspiring musicians that are listening to this, they wanna learn. Give us some stories
everyone
of
or anyone.
Of
don't
course.
trust anyone, dude.
Yeah, right.
Don't
God,
for yourself.
Screwed over left and right.
Explain. Emphasize on this, my friend. Yeah. Give us some stories.
We don't want to say any names.
I can't bash on
You don't have to say any names.
I can't bash on
Hunter
anyone.
brought up the same thing. He's like, I'm not saying any names, dude, but this one time, and so, dude, let's get in some nitty gritty here.
At the same time.
Yeah. Call him Carl. One time, Carl did this thing.
If only he knew the irony in this conversation. So, I'll bring up, I'll call him Jeff. No, I'm not talking about you, Jeff Hansen. Jeff was this guy out in Hollywood. We had played our first show as Ascension, which was soon to be Echoed Silence. Played our first show out there at the Whiskey. We opened for this band. Anyway, their manager, it was like a super group of some from Evanescence and Papa Roach and whatever, blah, blah.
Okay.
It was a cool group, and we got to open for them. And their manager or whatever, who lives out in Oklahoma, hit us up and was like, hey, I want to help you guys out, blah, blah, blah. And we actually reached out to him, and we were like, we worked out this management deal where we were paying him an ungodly amount of money per month and all this stuff because we were going to go on a tour and on a ship and all this stuff. And anyway, 6-7 months later, nothing happened. Everything fell through. The only thing that did happen is we went out there and recorded a few songs or whatever that we ended up canning,
You're right.
Anyway, so basically we paid a crap load of money. I'm talking like $20,000+ for nothing.
Okay. And was this those guys or was
this is Echoed Silence?
Yeah, this is before.
Okay.
This is way back.
This is way back.
Okay.
That's
original band though, right?
Yeah, original band.
Okay.
And that's the thing. That's what, if I could tell anyone anything, is do your research. Don't trust anybody.
Right.
Just
if it seems
make
wrong,
sure. It doesn't feel right. Don't do it.
Yeah.
It was a big learning experience. Cost us out of pocket, and a lot of time was spent on trying to make that work, and everyone wants money, dude. We've been through talent agencies and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. They promise this, they promise that. You just got to pay this, and we realized we ain't paying for shit. I mean, we'll do the pay to plays or whatever, because depending on who we want to play with, and we just want to play shows, and that's how it is in California. So we're like, all right, we'll do that, but when it comes to paying like management or anything, just do your research. You got it. You really got to know. Cause
I mean, in this day and age with the DIY kind of thing, dude.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
all it
really,
is nowadays, dude. DIY.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, they have. It's so unfortunate, like from the '90s, of like record deals were something back then, and now it's nothing. But the playing field has been leveled.
Yeah.
Where if you put the work in and you do it and you promote yourself,
you can make something happen.
You really can make something happen, you know. But I mean, it's unfortunate that like the whole dream of making it has become like a whole different thing. It's a different animal now. You know what I mean?
Well,
but
it used to be like
it's flooded, it's saturated.
Yeah,
I mean, there's like so much out there of everyone that's doing their own thing. So to set yourself apart from it is tough, but you can do it. I mean, there is this element of doing it yourself is really a possible scenario, you know?
It's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
It's always been that.
You need to, to know the people to get you in the back door, basically.
Totally.
You can... Yeah, you can do everything yourself, but you gotta find help somewhere.
Yeah,
you know?
You gotta have somebody supporting it. Yeah.
You know what I heard a while back? I don't know who from, but record labels are no longer the light at the end of the tunnel. You have to be the light at the end of the tunnel that the record labels are looking for.
For sure.
You got to build your following.
Yeah, you have to be established for them to even want it. Yeah.
For them to even bat an eye at you.
Yeah, for sure.
And then all you want to use a record label for, this is something I would tell to any bands that want to start. I mean, we're starting, but is a record label is just there to publish you worldwide.
Right.
That's it. They're your publishing.
They used to promote
avenue.
you. They used to do all these things where if you didn't have a following but you were a good band, that's where you got your following.
Yeah,
now you create your own following,
and
that's what attracts you to them. Is like, okay, well, we've got 70,000 followers or whatever.
Yeah,
you know,
we want
like,
210,000.
Okay, wait a minute. Like, okay, well, this might be something to reckon with. Yeah, for sure. I mean, the legwork has to fully be done on your own, where you're even gonna catch their eye. Has to be that part of it for sure.
That's another thing. That was another learning experience with Echoed Silence is you know, you really got to put all the work in yourself. We thought we could just write good songs, be a good band, be good live, and someone's gonna see us and be like, we want to sign you. You know, it's like, that's not how it works.
The dream is dead.
The dream does not work like that. You got to put a lot of work in. And we were young too. I mean, we were 20, 21 years old. You know, we were just getting into life. Now we've been in the working force for 7 years. You know, we know what it's like to work for something and to reap the benefits at the same time. So it's just different when you grow up a little bit.
For sure.
You learn from those bad experiences, paying out a crap load of money for nothing, you know, having band members that no one likes, but you got to keep around, and for political reasons. Like, there's politics in being in a band. And the thing is,
no one understands that.
It.
Yeah, for sure.
You have to go through it and rise from it. You can't let it take you down.
There's so many learning experiences through all that.
Yeah, you got to take it and learn from it and just keep going. Otherwise, you're not going to... Because it's only going to get worse the bigger you get. I mean, when you become a worldwide sensation or whatever, they have more pressure than anyone in the local or lower levels, you know? And people think it just goes away, like, oh, they're rock stars. No, dude, you don't know what they're dealing with on a daily basis, you know?
No, for sure.
It's a tough industry to be in. We're not even, I wouldn't even say
you're selling the smiles and you're selling the image at that point.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
It's all good. Everything seems so great.
Yeah.
And no one really gets it. I mean, the band that I was in when I was kind of making it was in like 2000. So, I mean, there was still infrastructure as far as... You know, I mean, Napster was just barely happening. That was just barely a thing where, like, Metallica was making a big deal about shit. And, like, you know what I mean? Like, there was still bands getting signed and stuff. And we had record labels coming to check us out. My band's name was Substance, and we were like a Sublime type of reggae band. We opened for Ika Mouse, Third World, like some really heavy hitters, you know, playing. Like I said, we were going to go to Europe for 6 months opening for Ika Mouse. We were getting our passports and all that stuff together. And, you know, I mean, like... There was, like you say, with the politics involved, we were like some core dudes from the same high school, 4 dudes that knew each other. 2 of them were in the grade above me, and we were all out of high school. We had come together, and the drummer was a guitar player who started playing drums. The bass player was a guitar player who I gave him my bass, and they kind of started from scratch, dude. I mean, they started from nothing. I had been playing guitar a bunch of years, and I had been writing a bunch of stuff, but it was one of those weird things where we had gotten a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better. We had a lockout studio off Catella out in Orange County. We were right next to Eve 6 and a bunch of like 90s bands. There was Lit that used to come by our studio, and so the dude, the guitar player with the braided little goater and stuff used to roll by and check us out, and like we made some connections, and we had like a couple clothing companies that were sponsoring us and stuff, and we had record labels coming to some of our shows, and we were like on the cusp, you know?
Yeah.
And the thing that blew it up was the politics of our drummer. He was decent. I mean, he started off as a guitar player. He wasn't really a drummer, but he was drumming in the band, and he was good, dude. But the chemistry was there. The four of us with the chemistry was there. Well, the more and more shows and the bigger the heads got and the more people that started bloating that situation with, you know, the sponsors and the labels and the different things and the different people chirping in the ears, the other two dudes, the bass player and the singer, they decided we need a new drummer. We need a new drummer, somebody that shreds. And I'm like, not really down for that. Like the chemistry, we went out on the beach drunk one night and we decided like, we're the band, dude. Like we were like, you know, 19, 20 years old and like we were kids, and like we made this commitment to each other, and we made this bond, this pact to each other that like us versus the world, you know, and like we had this thing that was like, and we were brothers. We were brothers in arms, you know, and I had more commitment to that than I did of like, some drummer that's been playing for 10 years, of course he's gonna shred, dude. He's gonna kill this guy. Like,
but he's gonna
match,
family with
you know
us.
what I mean? And so behind my back, the other two dudes started seeking out a drummer, and then they found one, and they were like, came to me one day, you know, hey, let's just give him let's just try audition. Let's just try him out. Like, just be open to it. Like, we don't have to make any decisions, but I just want you to try. So I caved, and I said, okay, right, let's try him out, dude. And of course, he shredded, dude.
Great,
he killed it, bro.
Right.
But I wasn't feeling the vibe between, like, there was just, and maybe I had animosity. Maybe I wouldn't let the vibe happen. I don't really know, dude. I couldn't really make that decision, but I pretty much told those guys no. Like, sorry, like I gave you a shot, and the politics were playing the game here, and you know, and I ended up leaving that band, dude. Like, we were really on the cusp of something, and my moral guide told me this is gonna become a problem. And you know, like I said, my singer was like on E and all kinds of different drugs and stuff, and falling off stage and getting wasted, and like his head, dude, I mean, he was a good looking guy, he had tats, he was ripped and shit, and like he just had so many girls and dudes and people pumping all this stuff in his head that you guys are gonna and his head just was getting bigger and bigger, dude. And he didn't write any of the lyrics. I wrote all the lyrics, I wrote all the music, dude. I mean, I was like the mastermind behind the project, but I was into Hendrix and Led Zeppelin and like all these bands. I was the master musician behind. I was the guy behind the curtain pulling the strings, saying like, there's a big picture involved here where we can make it, and we could be a band for like 25 years and like create a career. And they were all about the now, dude. They were all about like hearing what everybody's tripping in their ears, and they didn't really see the big picture. They didn't know like there's a possibility of this band becoming something that could be larger than what we already were. And I saw that, dude, and I just thought, dude, you throw more money at this project, we go on tour. I don't want to go on tour with Eek-A-Mouse to Europe and have to leave 3 months later out of a 6-month tour because the band breaks up in Europe, and I have to fly back disappointed with my head down, thinking we failed. You know what I mean? All this stuff, all this work we put into because of some band bullshit, you know? So it really turned into this thing where like I had to bounce. I just had to like fold it and make the decision that I thought was the right thing due to the politics, you know? Like I just knew I could either pull out now or I can pull out later when things are getting so good, and I'll be that much more disappointed. You know? And so, I don't know, a lot of my friends were like, you should have just rode the wave, dude. Even if that happened, you should have just like, got the most out of it. And I don't know, like I said, I had the moral compass that just told me, nah, dude, that's not really worth it, you know?
You gotta listen to your morals.
You do, you know? And so, it's rough, you know? And there's a lot of politics involved. There's a lot of things, the behind-the-scenes stuff that nobody gets. Nobody. It really is like a marriage. I mean, people joke about it and stuff.
Oh, no, it's
people
100%.
Don't get it, dude. Being in a band is not the easiest thing in the world, but when it is easy and when things feel right, hang on to that. You know what I mean?
Project.
Right?
Yeah, we're going great so far.
I
That's
mean,
why we're doing it.
You guys really seem like there's a vibe here and there's some things, and so out of all this whole story is just basically embrace that and love that, you know, as much as you guys can, because that is such a hard thing to find. The bands that make it and the bands that stick it out for, like a Pearl Jam band that I love, those guys love each other. They're brothers, dude. I mean, there's a reason why they've been together for 28 years and they're still rocking, is because they found out of the thousands of people in the, not in the state they were living with, in the world, for them to have hooked up with, they found the right niche, they found the right group, and they found the right chemistry, and they hung on to that, you know, and that's huge, dude. Like, the bands that make it are the ones that are able to recognize that, embrace that, and just roll with it, dude, you know, and like, so many musicians come and go, bro. I mean, as a musician myself, I've jammed with so many people and so many projects and gotten hopeful about things that felt so right, and then months later something goes south, you know. And
that's super common too.
It's such a bummer. I mean, but that's part of the game.
Oh,
That's part of music. There's so many. I mean, unfortunately, musicians, some have their heart in it, but there's a lot out there. There are such flaky people in general that it almost seems like it should be a warning sign before you ever get involved. But you want it to happen so bad that maybe their musicianship is so good that you think like you could look past those things, and it's like it ends up biting you in the ass in the end, dude. Like, it ends up being something where you're like, dang it, dude, I should have seen that coming, but I wanted it so bad, you know, I wanted this thing to work out, and you like look past these things, and that's the classic scenario, and people just don't know how hard it is to keep a project together and keep a band going. But, you know, for what you guys have got going, like, hang on to that, dude, for sure. Like, you know, that's inspiring for any up and coming musicians that are listening to this podcast and people that want some insight. Like, you guys are an inspiring story to know that you guys are doing project where you guys are making the money, and you guys are kind of just like playing songs that people dance to, grooving, putting smiles on people's faces, but you also have this thing that's yours, that you guys are able to kind of like make it happen on your own terms. And there's a lot of young kids and young musicians and people that maybe listen to this that want to hear that success part of it as well, where like they inspired by like, I can do that too, you know? And like, these guys are doing it, you know, so why can't I? And that's what people need to hear. There's reinforcement there. There's always a really silver lining to that you know, we always hear the horror stories, and there's so many bands that never make it, and you know, but it's a local scene, as you said, here in town, dude. It's really thriving and only getting bigger, and the support system is there, and there's plenty of venues to play, and it's really a great place for this, you know, entity of these bands to be able to have a start.
And you're right by San Diego, LA, and all that
LA,
stuff.
San Diego, all that stuff is so close.
Yeah,
for sure, you know. So it's been really inspiring for even the other interviews I've done to like hear that there's so much local talent, and I'm sure you guys, you know, you pull together. You did tell me about the Homie Palooza. How many bands were at that?
8 bands.
8 bands. Those are all local guys.
All local guys, and we're all like super good friends.
Different ages too. Like
Different ages. Oh, totally.
Like, how cool is that you guys are able to pull that together and have a venue that supports that?
Exactly.
You know,
Franklin's Cove is that when it comes to supporting like local music, no matter what, like not just cover bands, not just original, not just tribute, any form of music. I mean, Frank over there, Frank and Tammy, they're just the best bar owners, man. They support Homie Palooza, and so for them to be like our outlet, you know, and that part of the family is just so great, because then we have all these musicians that want to play, and that's why Homie Palooza is a thing, you know. For 2 years now, it's been like we just get a bunch of bands, go to one of the best venues in town, and just have a blast, you know.
Totally.
It's and to get original music out there too is like that, because that's what we want to do. We want to start getting original music in the area. You know, it's really hard. The vault shut down. I know there was another venue up in Temecula that had to shut down because it's hard to build that. But if we all, that's the thing, is like back in the LA hair metal scene and stuff, like you need to get that camaraderie of musicians and bands together that all support each other, especially in the original scene, because you don't have that. You go to LA, you go to San Diego, and everyone's in it for themselves. Everyone's
it's cutthroat.
They view everyone as competition because everyone's trying to do the same thing.
Weird,
when they should be teaming up
Embracing
together
each other.
and embrace it to all make it, rather than I don't want you to make it because I want to make it. That it's just you gotta fix that.
I couldn't agree with you more, bro. And that's been the way for a long time. I mean, I always felt that way too. I'm like, dude, we're all in the same boat here.
Exactly.
What the heck is going on here? Like, why can't we support each other? Yeah.
Some people have these egos.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of musicians, the narcissism, you know. I mean, it's just like, you know, but. Yeah, I've never understood that. Like, if we all band together, we're stronger as a unit.
Exactly.
Than if we are all like disbanded and frickin' like against each other. Like, it's cutthroat, dude, and it doesn't make any sense because we're all musicians here. We're all like in bands trying to make it. Like, if we just like band together, like we're just that much more stronger. It's gonna be that much easier to try to put stuff together and make things happen as opposed to you know. And I've never understood that as well. I just don't get it. But you know, if you find that camaraderie in some bands, which it seems like you have, stick with that and try to rock that as hard as you can. You know,
that's Temecula, man. Is just the original bands around here. You got who'd we have? The Tones, Crooked Stones, Midnight Satellites, AKM Project, Alexis, Misspoken, Black Hat Saints. Shoot, I know I'm missing some. Oh, those guys. We were the other one.
What about is Indica Roots a local band?
You know, I used to see them back at the Tilted Kill. They're like, I think they're a lot of Carlsbad, San Diego type stuff. But that's the thriving reggae scene right now. Is like down there, you know. So they're down there, and Tones play down there a lot. But all these bands. I mean, we all get along great, and it's just really cool being in this area and having that group of musicians that they want to play Homie Palooza. And they would play it for free. I mean, granted, we make a little bit of cash, but they would come out and do it for free just because we all love to play music. We all love to play together. And I mean, shoot, most of the bands have the same musicians. Lunar Hand, that was the other band. They're awesome. But a lot of the band's members are in each other's bands. So at this original show with 8 bands, there was probably there was a whole bunch of cross pollination. There was. I mean, one dude's playing bass in 2 bands, and then we're playing in 2 of the bands.
Just making it happen, dude.
It's cool, man. But I only found that here, and I think it should be everywhere. If they could do that in LA or something, you know, band together, do a freaking Sunset Strip tour. I don't know, do Viper Whiskey. Rainbow.
It's more community here in LA, dude. It's so big that it's dog eat dog out there,
it's just
bro.
Dog
for sure. It's you know.
That's why we gotta just take it over.
Right.
Just get Temecula bands to get out there.
But there is a really good music scene out here. I mean, even I just did an interview with that guy Rob, and he was just saying, like, he said, you know, with how many venues here are just even on the Strip, with no noise ordinance laws or anything, he goes, the police could really be on that, and they're not. And he said, you can go from one end of the town to the other. There's so many bands, like on a weekend, dude. Like
so many.
You can catch so much music, and he goes, it's like, it's a rare thing to find a town that supports that kind of scene. Where like some of these places, he goes, you know, it's a double-edged sword, because some of these, like Devilicious or whatever, where like they opened a restaurant and it was almost an afterthought, like, oh, we can have music here too, but it's almost an afterthought where it's like, we opened up a restaurant, but like we could get music going, and it's one of those things where like they don't really necessarily have a stage set up. They just kind of open up a corner and let the bands play or whatever, and like it's you know, like he said, it's good because like they got music playing at a place. He goes, but if they would have just thought about that when they were building the place and maybe built just a little small stage, like
a rad little scene going,
you know what I mean? Like there would be such a cooler thing going on where like it would really support those bands and show that we're showcasing them. You know, he goes, it's like this whole afterthought thing of like the music being secondary to whatever it was. He goes, where, you know, but he goes, in the essence of everything, it's really cool that these places all have bands. You know, I mean, the fact that they support, whether it's just a acoustic dude, you know, like the dude from Tones plays just acoustic gigs sometimes, I think, at some of these, you know, and like, that's cool, you know what I mean? It's cool that they are at least embracing the music factor, but there is so many bands. I mean, if you go from one end to the other, you'll see at least 8 or 10 bands playing some of these venues that some do have stages, some don't, you know, but it's really a cool factor that there's no one cracking down on that. I mean, you've even got street performers out on
I know,
street,
right?
you know, where like you would think maybe the cops might be on that, you know, and they're not. There is a unspoken supportiveness of what's going on in this town with all of that they're able to do that, you know, because you go to San Diego or somewhere bigger where that kind of thing is a little more frowned upon. There's always going to be some kind of naysayer that's going to complain and say, get that out of here. We don't want that, you know, too loud or too whatever, or, you know, censor this and censor that. And we really do have this kind of special thing going on. I didn't even think about it until Rob was talking about that, and I thought, wow, he's got a point, you know, where like there is a special scene kind of going on here. And he goes, you know what, the only other place I've seen that is like Nashville.
Yeah.
He's like, I went up to Nashville, and like that's similar to what's going on here, smaller scale. He goes, but you don't see that everywhere, you know, and this is like kind of cool. And he was saying, even for you to be starting a local musician-based podcast, he goes, get in on it now while you can, because things are only going to get bigger from here as long as it stays the way it is, you know. And so that made me excited to be like, I'm going to keep rolling with this, you know. I want to keep giving a voice to these local musicians, telling their stories, and you know, so
that's pretty rad.
Yeah, you know, I mean, that's what this podcast is all about. Is just kind of like really getting the local scene a push, and kind of just like giving a voice to these people that are here in town that, you know, as you say, I'm going to look into some of these bands that you were mentioning today just to see if maybe they'd be interested in getting in on this, you know. Just
I can give you a whole list of bands,
you know,
and they will too. They would love to support this and get their name out there, you know.
Right. So it's all good in that sense, you know, but
it's crazy, man. It makes me think of like L.A. back in the hairband days, when we had Quiet Riot and Guns N' Roses, and I don't know,
everything else,
all those bands, you know?
Everything else in between,
all rising up at once. It's like, whoa, where the hell did this come from?
Yeah, there's a scene here for sure. So
it's sad that more people don't do it, because it's like it helps everyone. Helps, you know, especially with like local stuff. Helps the bars get money. Helps the music get out.
Right.
Yeah.
So I want to get a little bit into some gear really quick. What kind of drums do you play?
Gretsch. Everything.
Oh, Gretsch guy, killer.
Yep.
Okay.
Love it.
And I saw you had like a little drum pad or something you do for the AKM project.
Yeah, it's the
Octopad.
Thank you.
Octopad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Still learning how to use
little
that
sample things and stuff like in there.
Yeah, definitely different from what I'm used to.
Right.
Super rad.
Just little breakdown parts and things like that. Just kind of
like electric noises coming out. Like customize it all. Oh, it's crazy. Yeah.
That's killer.
I can do a lot on that thing.
Yeah. My first taste of something like that was with Sublime, where he used to have the like little weird funky things going on in there, and I always thought like, oh, that's how you implement that. That's killer, dude. So
I like the weird stuff.
In the live drum set realm of having that kind of thing mixed in is always pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun.
So you're a Gretsch guy, and then like we've said, you've been playing for like 5, 6 years, 7 years, or something like that, right?
Yeah, I've been using pretty much the same stuff, really.
Yeah.
Sabian cymbals.
What works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just going with it, but
That's
Gretsch
killer.
is I like the Gretches.
I acquired my first Gretsch guitar in the last few months. Yeah.
I've always seen them. I've shied away from buying them, but I don't. What kind did you get?
I was given one from a homie of mine, one of my close brothers, because I work at Peart's Music, and I had purchased one, and apparently some crack fiend dude had sold it to the store, and it was a really nice Gretsch, dude. It was like something like pretty close to like something like what Chris Cornell from Soundgarden used to play. That's what eyed me towards it.
Did Chris play Gretsch?
He played some Gretches back in the day, back in the 90s. If you watch like the Black Hole Sun video, like a sparkly like Gretsch they used to play, and a couple other ones. And so this one I was like totally stoked on. It was like really killer. Anyway, family came in like after we do a month hold on all of our stuff there, just because if it's stolen or whatever. And so I had bought it in like 3 weeks and told the owner, I said, if anything comes up, which probably won't or whatever, just let me know. But you know where I live, you know where I got it, and the week of, dude, after I bought it, like the family had come in and said, it's a family guitar, and our son who's on drugs sold it, and so we want to buy it back. And I get a phone call from them saying, you got to bring the guitar back, man. And I was like, dang it. So I had to bring the guitar back, and I sold it back. And as I said, Chris Cornell was like, I'm a big Chris guy, and when I bought that guitar, I was just like, dude, like,
I need one.
I got the Soundgarden guitar, dude. I got the Chris thing. Like, and my buddy, he's a Les Paul, Telly, Fender, whatever, like Gretsch, everything guy.
Yeah.
And he had a couple Gretches, and so like 2 weeks later, he knew how bummed I was about it. I was like talking about it for like a week. I'm like, it wasn't meant to be, bro. I really wanted that guitar, and like I'm really bummed out. And I'm like, I got it for so cheap. I mean, if I wanted to sell, I could have sold it for like double the price that I freaking bought it for. And you know, if I wanted to flip it, but I'm not gonna. But maybe I will. But I don't know. And so I was just bummed, dude, and he showed up to my house one day, and he's like, dude, I got something for you. And it's this green monster of a Gretsch, dude, and it's just killer, you know?
Nice.
That's rad.
And so now I'm a Gretsch guy, and he was like, he's still got like all his stuff, and he's like, dude, we can play Soundgarden together now. We can jam out at my house, we'll have a Soundgarden day, dude, we'll just Gretsch it out hard. And I was just like, I'm so stoked on it, dude. And he's actually got some hella thick strings on it. It's in like drop C. So it's just got this like really dark, demented sound to it, bro.
On there?
Yeah,
12, 13?
something. Yeah. I think he custom put some set together. I think it's got some really. The E string is like a 58 or a 6. Yeah. Something crazy, dude. But anyway, it's mean sounding, bro, for sure. And
damn.
so I'm a Gretsch guy now.
There you go.
All of a sudden, you know. But yeah.
Out of nowhere, I'm a Fender guy.
Yeah.
I was playing. Well, shoot, what did I have? I had a Schecter. That's right. I had a Schecter Custom, and then and a Les Paul. Well, it wasn't mine. It was actually my dad's.
That was the one I think you were playing at the winery gig, the Les Paul. Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been Les Paul. I was never a fan of the tuning and stuff. It's from '92, and it was really good sounding guitar, but G string always freaking is going out of tune.
Okay.
Like bad. I'm like, all right, so I'm gonna switch around. I actually got a custom.
Just needs a setup, dude.
I got it set up a couple times.
Really?
And they can never get that knob right or whatever. They replaced the tuning knob and all
Really?
that stuff.
The tuning keys got replaced and still?
Yeah, at least that's what I was told.
Wow. Where'd you take it? Guitar Center?
No, well, I took it to Peart's a long time ago.
Really?
And
Okay.
I took it to Guitar Center.
Okay.
And then we had...
Did JR work on it over at Peart's?
Darren Mercer work on it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know who worked on it.
Okay.
It was so long ago. Dude.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, bring it in sometime, bro.
Maybe.
I'd love to take a crack at it.
I don't have it. My pops has it now.
Well,
but-
tell your pops to bring
I'll
it in, dude.
we'll
That's what we do over there.
But yeah, so I played that. Then I got a custom moniker guitar, but they went out of business. So
Okay.
I got one of those, but it was really heavy. It was like a Les Paul. It was pretty heavy, thick body. But just recently, I started liking the Telecaster look, right?
Okay,
And I was like, you know, I want to buy a Fender because Moniker went out of business. I was like, well, I'm not endorsed anymore. Not like. Yeah, I never was exclusive anyway, but I wanted to, you know, rep it. I'm like, you know, now I feel like I can branch out. So I bought a Telly, dude.
It'll
I'm
be
like,
okay.
What the hell? It's the first time I've had a passive guitar for one. All the other ones were active, and I like the way it reacts with my Fender amp, my Hot Rod Deluxe, and the pedals. It just kind of makes sense. Like it feels like putting Fender in Fender. Just sounds good, you know. So I'm actually looking to go grab another Fender too. I want to get a Jazzmaster and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I got on this Fender kick, dude. Like the Supersonic 2 head. I want to get that now. I'm like, they got some good sounding stuff, man.
My buddy, he's more of a Jaguar guy, I think, is what he's all into.
That's similar to the Jazzmaster.
Yeah,
same body style.
Yeah,
I would go for a Jaguar probably because of simplicity's sake. I know Jazzmaster has all these freaking weird things on there.
Yeah.
That I would never even use, so I might go with the Jag or something. Yeah. Fender's cool, man.
Yeah.
I like their tone. They give me that like.
So that's kind of cool.
Of funky.
Through some of the interviews, you always hear some dudes are Les Paul, some dudes are Fender. Like there's that split.
Yeah.
And then you get these dudes that are like kind of like us, where like anything.
Yeah.
I've got a Hendrix Voodoo Caster, which is a signature series Strat with the 1969 headstock upside down thing, and I got a couple other Strats. I've got a couple. I wouldn't say Les Pauls. I got Epiphones. I'm a working man. I can't really afford the whole. Yeah. But the Epiphone, I got a 56 gold top reissue Epiphone.
Yeah.
You know,
Epiphone.
I got a double neck, the Jimmy Page double neck,
way.
the red one, Epiphone. You know, but still killer, dude. I mean, it still plays. I feel like they're just as good as the real Gibson. I'm working at Peart's. I played it all, dude. I played real Gibsons and I played the Epiphones, and I really just don't. I don't see a difference, to be honest with you. I mean, they're killer. I got a blue like flame top Epiphone, and you know, so I've got the Gretsch now, and a couple other like I got like a Samick like Explorer, like looks like a James Hetfield kind of thing going on, and it's like a no-namer or whatever, and
dude,
actually
the Explorers are cool.
They are. The bodies are comfortable, dude.
Yeah,
and like,
that's what I was told.
They're
like,
really great.
The weight is pretty...
totally. That's like my Foo Fighter guitar, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like my little drop D like Foo Fighter guitar.
Yeah.
I love that. So, I mean, at this point, working at Peart's, I've got an Epiphone SG, and I mean, I got it all.
Accumulate a lot of.
But I like being the guy that like plays it all. Like, there's like different guitars do different things. They have different sound. I never really got the people that are like just one or just the other, I mean, even the dude Rob that I interviewed, he's all Strats, and he's like, it's just me, it's just my sound, it's just the tone I'm looking for, and I'm like, that's cool. I mean, I get it. My whole life I've always known there's Strat guys and there's Les Paul guys, and that's just the thing, but for me, I'm like, dude, they all do different things, they all sound differently.
Whatever
like
sounds good, man.
Yeah, really.
And it does
I mean,
what you're trying to get across.
Right, especially for studio work or whatever. I mean, you're you're always searching for tone,
you always gotta
so
bring 2 or 3 guitars.
It doesn't really make sense that you'd be trapped into a box of one thing, but it is what it is. Everybody's got their thing.
People find what they like, man. And they're just like,
everybody's ear is
that's
different, so I get it, but
I feel like it influences writing too, like, because we used to write like Echo Silent songs and stuff, very Foo Fighter like. It was on my Schecter, which it was more of a metal guitar, but I feel like I wrote a certain way with that guitar, and then when it started getting on the whole Fender train and getting the different tone and stuff, it kind of just changed the style. Right now we write like totally different sounding songs and stuff. They're more riffy, they're more groove type songs.
Yeah.
I'd say it has a lot to do with the instruments that are being used. Not to mention his drumming too. Like, we've just, after playing in a cover band for a while and stuff, like we played a lot of different types of music now, right? So there's a lot of different influences. Like, dude, we just busted out this song yesterday we were working on, and we got like John Bonham over here on drums, dude. He's freaking. We're putting it's like it feels like a Zeppelin type, feel or whatever, and it has a lot to do with the way we were playing. And then he laid down this drum track that was just like straightforward, a lot of just that pocket feel or whatever, and it was like it was really cool, man. I feel like the instruments we use just influence the songs we write and stuff.
Well, with the drumming thing, I mean, I was in a band called Uncle Fat Knuckle, and it was a total, we did some Foo Fighters covers and this and that was like kind of our like framework was based around that kind of thing. And dude, we went through 14 drummers for that band.
Oh my god.
14 drummers. Some of them we tried out once, some of them were in the band for like a month, and then it was just, but that music, I had this bass player that was like very intricate bass player, 5-string, was into very intricate music, Mr. Bungle and crazy stuff, and just like really, really intricate stuff. But we rock bass, like really Foo Fighters type stuff. The drumming thing was, and this was like my saying that I had to like go through with all these drummers, was like, don't play through the music, play to the music.
Yeah.
And Dave Grohl, through Taylor Hawkins, I don't know how much Dave Grohl tells Taylor to play what, because you got to imagine that has to happen.
Yeah, it's got to happen.
I mean, at some point, Taylor has learned so much from him that I'm sure he doesn't have to do it as much now.
No, yeah,
you know what I mean?
Knows what he wants.
But dude, the accents, the parts that he plays to the riff, where he accents the with a da-na-na-na-na-na, like where it matches up, where he's not playing bump through it. He's playing to it. He's playing like he's accenting all the little parts, dude, where like it goes with the riff. Like the little accented riff is accented with the drum thing. Yeah. Where he's not just playing a beat through it. He's playing like parts to the parts, and like that was the hardest thing to get drummers to get, dude, where like some of them just weren't good enough. They just maybe they weren't influenced by Foo Fighters or whatever, and like they were just the simplicity of just playing a beat was what they knew.
Yeah.
But we didn't want that. We wanted a drummer that could like really accent the accents, you know, and like play these things that like they just weren't capable of doing, and hence 14 drummers was like why we, you know, we ended up getting a couple dudes throughout that could do it, you know, and it was a tough find. It was really a tough. It was hard shoes to fill, and we didn't know, like, is it us? Are we asking too much? Like, but once we got somebody that could do it, it was like, well, this dude can do it. So I mean, like, why weren't the other 8 dudes able to do it? You know, I don't know. Like, it's just like, but that comes with time. I mean, some of those dudes, they had to be playing for like 10 years to be able to get it, and they had to like listen to that type of music to really know what we were even talking about, you know. And so, I mean, if you listen to Avenged Sevenfold or something, like, you maybe be able to like wrap your brain around parts, you know, or listen to whatever. Like, there's bands that play parts, you know, and then there's bands that just AC/DC. They just rock. They just rock, dude. I mean, the drummer's just, he's just in it, in the pocket, and he's just doing it, and the rest of the music's doing its thing around that basic beat. But there's bands like Foo Fighters and stuff that really like throw some cool accented parts that really like make you like dig it that much more. For me, that's just me, but
I feel it has a lot to do with the fact that Dave is a drummer, first.
Totally.
So,
you know,
because he even said in an interview once when he wrote The Pretender, right? I can't remember the riff, but the riffs that he wrote on guitar, he wrote based off drums. He wrote each one as a drum part. You have the or whatever the heck it is, and then he was like, well, I imagine that is like the hi-hat, that's your hi-hat, right? And then you have the is like that's your, you know, whatever.
He's got a percussion stance off of everything.
Guitars, so then when they write the drums and stuff, it's like
it's already written almost when he's doing it, dude, you know, like, for sure.
That's what I like about Anthony, dude. Like, I feel like drums, depending on what genre you're in, but drums should be played as an instrument rather than
the backbone.
A backbone. Yeah. Well, I mean, it has to be the backbone.
It has to be, but if you can rise above
that as
an
instrument, also like you're adding to the song.
Voice.
That's the thing, Anthony. He has a voice on the drums.
Yeah.
He adds to the parts. These little
that's killer, dude.
These little and hits and stuff like that. You know, just and we do a lot of stops.
I follow sometimes with his guitar and stuff, and it like the other day, yesterday, a song that we did a part where we did the same thing. And I was like, whoa, that's rad.
Now, how much of that is just you, or how much of that is improv, or how much of that is him telling you? A little bit of everything, or
kind of like I don't know.
Do you just do it?
It's the
comes
connection
back to
thing.
Because before we used to follow each other. Like when I play with a different, like say I'm filming for another band.
Yeah.
I don't follow the bassist. I follow like the guitarist because that's how I learned how to play.
Which that's
weird.
Cool, because if you guys do get bass, then he's gonna follow you.
Yeah.
And you're following him, which is where the melody and the music is coming from, is that. Yeah. So that could be a really cool combination, a cool factor. I mean, whether that's just studio with bass or whatever, or that maybe down the road or whatever, but that's a good way to go about it, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, then you are really following the melody of the song and the accents of everything.
Yeah,
so
that's how it came, like natural too. Like I never even thought about. I just
you're just doing it. Yeah, right.
Because
what felt natural.
Yeah.
That's totally cool.
So
it's
pretty rad.
That's rad, dude.
We've always written songs like that because we wrote together. All we did is write instrumentals and stuff, you know.
So we had to like kind of do that.
All we had is each other. We didn't have a bassist or anything. Totally. It was just. So now when we're writing this stuff, it's like we just feed off each other. This is like the perfect scenario for us because we always said we're like, man. If we have a 4-piece band, we're like, I wish we could multiply ourselves, you know, to play other instruments. Then we found out, like, well, we kind of can, you know? Yeah. And it just...
It's working.
It's working so far, you know? We're writing, it's feeling good. We just hope we keep busting out. We want to... Not only do we want to have fun, but we want to make songs that people like, too, you know? I hope that people dig our music.
Now, not having a bass player, do you ever feel like you're lacking that? Since you have those guys and you have that bass following you? I mean, if you want to go shred a solo or something, are you...
I don't solo.
You don't.
So
it's
I'm
just
a
all
rhythm,
rhythm and
I'm a
singing
rhythm
and
guitarist.
song.
Yeah, so there's lead parts that I do.
Well, I saw that. You're chunking on a rhythm and then you do a little lead, chunking on the rhythm, play a little lead, chunking, like you kind of, you play both, you know, in that sense.
I do both, and I keep it simplistic, because that's how I've been, that's how we always
and
are.
That works,
We've always just been simple.
What about with bass, though? Like, do you feel that lacking, or is that not really an issue?
Honestly,
it just feels full enough that you guys...
I don't know. I mean, I would love to have separate bass lines and stuff that could add that element to the song. But at the same time, I don't feel like it's lacking it. Yeah. But I feel like if it was there, it would add to it to have, you know, harmonies with bass and stuff like that.
Totally.
Nice
I just wondered if, like, you guys were locked into this sound, or if you were open down the road to maybe adding bass at some point. Because that's what I wondered with, like, the White Stripes and the Black Keys or whatever. Like, do they live? Do they have bass sometimes or whatever? I mean, they got that Seven Nation Army song. It's like all bass. So I'm like, how do you guys have a radio hit with bass and you're a two-piece? Yeah. Do you have a bass player come on stage and play that, or like how does that work? Which they do, you know, and like, but I just was curious, like, are you? Because you're basically writing the songs so that they are just guitar and drums, and you say what they say,
backbone,
right? You know what I mean? So I mean, it doesn't really take away from the live performance, you know? I mean, like you say, it would only maybe add something to it later, but I mean, if the songs are strong enough for what you guys do, just with that element of you two, that's a good thing. I mean, you're able to perform, you're able to do it, and that's, you know. You're carrying on doing your own thing. That has its own sound too if it's written properly, if it's written in that vein. It doesn't need it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And that's what we're going for.
It carries through. Yeah. It still connects, you know? Yeah. Which is cool. And it has its own sound. It's got its own thing where, like, that's the sound. That's what this thing is this, and it's not lacking. This is the thing.
That's what it is.
You know what I mean? For sure. And so that's killer.
That's what we feel. I mean,
I think it makes it, you gotta kind of be more creative too with a lot of stuff, you know?
And that separates you from a lot of the other stuff, dude. I mean, you guys are two-piece. How many two-pieces are out there? None. Really? Yeah. I mean...
And no backing tracks. That's a big thing. We kind of pride ourselves on that a little bit because... For one, we don't want to play to a click track. No. That's just takes the human element out of the performance, you know? Yeah, we speed up our songs. Live. But that's the fun in it.
Anybody does that live, dude.
Exactly.
Every band does that live.
Exactly.
The energy's there. You do a little bit faster.
That's
that's just part of it, dude.
Yep.
So
just no backing tracks. We can play everything, almost everything that we put on a record, we can play live, you know?
That's killer.
We'll add, if it really adds to the song, we'll add some extras on the recording, you know, that maybe we don't do live.
Embellish it a little bit for recording. For the most recording purposes.
Exactly. Is to make it a stronger song. But for the most part, live, we just play everything straightforward. I don't feel like it's lacking. Yeah. You know, because the songs are written to not have a bass player. Totally. You know, they're written to be simplistic and groovy and riffy. Yeah. And
that's the sound. That's cool.
Yeah, the only dynamic with bass is like coming in and out. Mm-hmm. Like that's
totally.
There's no like playing different notes or anything. It's just in and out.
Yeah.
But speaking of in and out, that sounds good.
Animal style.
Animal style fries.
Oh, dude.
All right. So, no, it's an element. Maybe down the road, if it really adds to it, we'll think about it. But as of right now, we're just gonna write it how it is. We're doing it for fun anyway.
So what do you guys see for the future of both projects? Those guys, cover band, just paying the bills, making money, having fun.
Yeah.
AKM, you guys foresee this? I mean, you guys have booked some pretty cool shows. I mean, this is just something you guys are really gonna keep sticking out here. And like, I hate to be like when you go to a job interview, where do you see yourself in 5 years? You know, kind of one of those weird things. But I mean, like, what do you guys foresee for the future of both these projects? I mean, just
those guys saying just those guys.
Having fun.
It's like a stress reliever.
Yeah.
Go and have fun.
Right.
Even the AKM is still like a stress reliever. But I think in the short amount of time we've done the AKM, I think we've like gone pretty high. Like
accomplishing.
We're doing a lot, and it's more the Echo Sounds was more like job, more work.
Right.
This is more like we're having like a lot of fun with it, and it's like progressing pretty good.
Yeah.
And we're just enjoying it, and the sound's going well. So
that's great.
In like 5 years,
Who knows?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Kaboo and Lollapalooza.
Hell yeah, dude.
Hopefully
That's great.
a paid gig.
That's
Those
the
are
dream,
great.
you know.
Those are aspirations to have, dude, for sure.
Hopefully
dude.
a paid gig.
Right. Yeah, dude.
No, it's true, man.
That's great.
Like with those guys, yeah, it's just a cover band thing.
Yeah.
And AKM, the goal. International rock stars playing all over the world for thousands
We
of dollars.
acquire a British accent.
And we
Yeah.
acquire accents
Platform
for
shoes.
some reason. I have
Sparkly
not
shirts.
just
Lots of
bowling
chest
shoes,
hair.
they're platform
Yeah,
bowling
that's
shoes.
right.
No,
Yeah.
we just right now we're just having fun with it, you know, and just seeing what happens. But
Just
we
trying to write good songs.
We're in talks with some people.
Yeah,
and
good.
We're trying to set some stuff up behind the scenes. We just don't want to put all our eggs in one basket or
For sure.
anything, you know. It's just it's a lot of fun. That's what's really cool. Like
Yeah.
we just built a call it an ego riser.
I saw it on
that light
your
box.
thing, dude.
Built that.
You step on it and it
just for
lights
the hell
up,
of it,
dude.
man.
That's
It
pretty
was
rad.
like
Do you know what that reminded me of? I don't know if you know about Zach Wilde.
I know Zach.
He's got a
Wild.
little
Does
stepping
he have
thing
one of
that he
those?
goes up there where he like only when he
When
does
he
his guitar
solos,
solos,
yeah,
dude, he
gets-
steps up on a riser, and me and my other buddy were kind of joking about it because it was like kind of funny that he's like I gotta set myself up a little bit higher so everyone can see what I'm doing. It was like,
Yeah.
but it's cool though
It's-
too, dude.
it's
I mean,
called
he's like a little riser.
An ego riser, dude.
Yeah, right, yeah.
See, but we're not
But yours has
using it.
got a light, dude. So I mean,
Yeah,
that's just
dude.
like taking it to the next bar, bro. Like,
That's right.
That's cool.
No,
Yeah.
It's not for the ego thing. It's
Yeah.
just when I go over and rock out with Anthony, because the
Yeah.
thing is, it's just me and him.
It's showmanship,
It's
dude.
showmanship. We
Yeah,
gotta add
for
as much
sure.
dynamic as
Yeah.
possible. And when I go over, it's gonna be in front of his drums, really.
Yeah.
One of these days we'll have him on a riser.
Right,
You know?
yeah.
That way it's like level with it.
Yeah.
But for now, it's just gonna be in front of his drums. So
Right.
when we're
Yeah.
having a good time and we're in it,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be over there, you know, and
Yeah.
it's like lighting is an issue at a lot of these
Right.
places too. It's
Totally.
really hard to get good lighting for a
Spot,
photographer. It's
yeah,
all blue and
spotlight,
fucking
yeah,
red
right,
and
yeah.
stuff in it. And
Set yourself apart, dude. That's
we
cool.
need to get Amethyst over
Yeah,
here.
right.
Shout out Amethyst, Salty Haired Kids Photography.
That's right.
She's a boss.
She's taking pictures of us right now, and she takes pictures at almost all the shows,
Cool.
and we got to make for some good shots, dude.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
not to mention, it's a cool like thing to have.
Yeah.
It's random. It's just
Yeah.
like
It's like putting a show on too. It's
Yeah.
like you see a lot of
there's
bands.
not a show.
There's
yeah.
a showmanship part of it, dude. I mean, anytime that you're on stage, you're putting on it. People are there want to be entertained.
That's what people don't.
That's what it
get
is. You're putting a
too,
show
like,
on, dude.
People just play.
Yeah, you step
That's
outside
it.
of yourself, dude. You're those guys, or you're AKM. I mean, you're that showman. You know, on stage, you're giving them their money's worth, bro, for sure. It's
Yeah.
part of that.
Giving them our money's
No
worth.
one wants to see
Yeah.
somebody there standing there. I mean, you guys know that. I've seen
Yeah.
you play. Like,
We've
you
seen
rock
it a
out,
million
dude.
times,
I mean,
man.
yeah.
That's someone could be
Yeah,
killing
it's not
it,
entertaining,
like
dude.
It's
killing
not
the guitar, or whatever,
Yeah.
but they're just
Are you gonna go
like
Tommy Lee where you could start revolving
Oh,
like
dude,
upside
that
down,
would be
dude, and
the
like
best.
I
dude,
get down there.
that'd be killer, bro.
That'd
That's
be
a
so
show
sick.
right there.
Build one of those.
Yeah,
Get you a riser that goes like
Yeah.
ooh, up and then
I
down.
dig it. I dig it.
That'd be rad.
Yeah, in a year I want to see that.
We'll do it.
All right, cool.
Depends.
Yeah,
Hit Six Flags up.
No,
Make me
that'd
like
be
a
so
little
fun.
that's
go-to
right.
drum
Yeah,
riser.
get behind their engineering people and
Yeah.
just be like, I need something.
It's like one of those free fall things.
Yeah, dude.
Jump up.
Hell yeah. You're losing your
There's a
stomach while
bass
you're
drum.
playing,
Yeah,
dude.
throwing up on myself, doing
cool.
a solo.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's part of the show.
Yeah.
The guy throws up every show, man. It's sick.
Literally.
Oh
my God.
Well,
it's all about the
this
show,
has
man.
been a great interview, guys. I really
lot
have
of fun.
dug. You guys are very humble, got good heads on your shoulders, and
Thanks.
we'll be promoting some of the stuff. I know you guys have your own social media.
Yeah.
As this goes, we're gonna be launching our first episodes coming up here soon, and we'll be
Sweet.
promoting all your guys' stuff coming up. And
Thank you, man.
so it's been a great pleasure to have you guys. I'm honored that you guys came on the show, and love to have you back at some point. We're gonna, as I
Absolutely,
said,
yeah.
we'll be
Let's
stepping
do it.
our game up here on the podcast and stuff. So we'll have you back and check in and see kind of what's going on in the near future. And it's been a pleasure.
Sounds
Yeah,
good,
thanks
man.
for having
Appreciate
us,
you
man.
guys coming
Thank you.
down to the studio
Yeah,
and
heck yeah.
doing this today.
It's fun.
Absolutely.
So appreciate it much, and we'll leave it at that. As I said, we'll do some promotion on your guys' end on whatever we have going on. And
You on SoundCloud and stuff? Or
we'll have like a Facebook and an
Oh,
Instagram
yeah,
and all that stuff
Oh, okay.
going, and
Sweet.
we've got a website, and so we'll get you guys all dialed, and
Awesome.
as your episode airs, we'll dial you up on whatever's coming down for you guys down the pipeline, and we'll kind of promote what everything's going on. So
Sounds good,
Right
man.
on, man.
all right,
Thank you.
AKM, those guys,
Yes,
appreciate it.
Those
Thank you.
AKMs.
You guys have a great day, and go get some in and out for me, and Animal style it up.
Oh yeah.
All right, sounds
All
good.
Got it.
You got it, guys.
Later,
All right,
man.
on,
thank
man.
you so much.
Thank you.
You can check these guys out through any of their social media, our social media as well. Those guys definitely have some shows coming up. Public House in Temecula coming up Saturday. That's on the 10th from 9 to 12. That's just for the cover thing that they do, which is, awesome. These guys kill it with that. But they also have the AKM Project show coming up. Whiskey A Go-Go, Hollywood, opening for Crazy Town. And I know a lot of people have heard that name. That's a big deal for these guys to be able to get out to, Hollywood. And that's on December 20th at 6 p.m. So check that out. Get some tickets, support these guys. They're on the rise. These guys, I believe were in the studio shooting stuff for a video recently, as they talk about, just moving forward and getting to the next level, getting to the next step. I'm very thankful to have an avenue to try to give these cats a voice. That's what the show's all about here. The podcast is having the local talent be able to tell their stories, their journey, and support that, embrace that. Give these people a voice and let them laugh, let them cry, let them teach you a thing or two. Let's educate the crowd out there and let them know that it's not always just, the rock star lifestyle on stage under the lights and that it's all so good. You gotta savor that good from the bad. So, we get into that a little bit, and I just want people to know that we support these guys. We'll throw them up on our Instagram page. That's going to be under Vibratory Productions. We have our Facebook page, Vibratory Productions, as well. And, of course, AKM Project. Those guys, they have their own Facebook and their own Instagram. So we'll link all that up, and please check that out. And we're on iTunes. We're on YouTube. Check out Krooked Hearts Podcast. Obviously, subscribe. That would be great. That's what we're looking for, is, grow the masses and spread the word and spread the love. So hopefully you cried. Hopefully you laughed. Hopefully you learned something. That's what this show's all about. So tune in, drop out, do your thing. Really appreciate everybody, all the fans out there, all the listeners. Thank you so much for supporting us. This is Andy the Pie Deal from the Krooked Hearts Podcast, and we are out.